Sorry, I have to ask lang po, kung nyo, if you wanna, kung Terry, if you wanna comment on kung Toby Chanco's statement. Sinabi po niya kasi kahapon daw that, baka daw yung iba, gusto daw nilang ma-impeach si VP Sara dahil natatakot sila sa
Nako.
posibilidad na maging presidente siya. Kung maging presidente raw kasi si VP Sara, for sure daw mapapanagot niya raw itong mga sangkot sa flood control scandal. And he said, VP Sara is really for accountability.
Talaga lang pagka naging presidente pa si Sara tsaka niya pa nanagutin yung mga sangkot sa flood control? Bakit hindi pa ngayon? Di ba bakit hindi siya gumawa ng sarili niyang task force? No, bakit hindi niya gawin yan ngayong panahon niya? Bakit kailangan pagdating pa ng 2028? Bakit kailangan patagalin pa niya? Di ba? Kung talagang gusto niyang tumulong sa investigasyon, kung talagang gusto niyang panagutin yung pong mga involved dyan sa flood control anomalies na yan, mga kababayan, bakit antayin niya pa yung 2028? So gagamitin na naman niya itong itong flood control issue na to, mga kababayan, para gawing propaganda sa kanyang pagtakbo sa 2028. Dahil gusto nilang palabasin na tanging si Sara lamang ang makaka-solve na itong flood control anomalies na to. Parang ganun ba? Parang sinasabi ba nila na si Sara Duterte lang ang makaka-solve na itong mga korupsyon na to? Diba mga kababayan? Nagets ninyo, no? Gagamitin nilang propaganda yung flood control anomalies, no? Para po sa kanyang kampanya sa 2028. So ngayon pa lang talaga sinasabi natin, no, nangangampanya na yung mga yan.
Hindi po ba answer yung mga yun? Yung at least yung tatlo na wala naman daw kontrata, under appeal yung disallowance,
Ayan na.
at sinungaling naman daw si Madriaga.
Well, I think more than considering it as an answer, parang ang tawag dun sa mga ganun, parang sabi-sabi. Di ba? Kasi basically, the defense is incomplete. Halimbawa, dun sa wala daw hong contract to kill. No?
Yan na.
Hindi naman ho pinag-uusapan kung may kontrata o wala eh. Ang pinag-uusapan ho dito, yung speech itself. The speech itself,
Yan.
ano ho yung laman nun? Hindi ba? Merong
Siya mismo nagsabi, mga kababayan, 'di ba? 'Yun yung sinasabi natin, no? Siya mismo nagsalita eh. 'Di ba? Pwedeng maging matibay na ebidensya na yung kanyang mismong pagsabi po noon. 'Di ba?
threat against the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker.
Diba?
Hindi ho usapin yung contract to kill. And more importantly, wala akong kontrata, I think. Anong hinahanap nung depensa? May written document na merong kontrata para magpatay ng tao? Hindi ko wala naman gumagawa nun eh. So,
Tama, walang gumagawa nun. Sino naman tangang hitman ang gagawa nun, mga babayan, no? Mayroon silang kontrata. 'Di ba? Ano yun? Pagka nadali na niya, syempre matatakot pa siya kasi baka pwedeng gamitin sa kanya yung kontrata na yun. No, may pinirmahan ka sa akin. Oh, lagot ka, ikaw yung tumira. 'Di ba? Pwede pa siyang ma-blackmail dun. No, yung gagawa ng bagay na yun, pwede pa siyang mabaligtad sa huli. Oh, alam ko na ikaw yung tumira. 'Di ba? Ikaw yung gumawa niyan. No, hindi mo pwedeng maitanggi kasi may kontrata. Katangahan naman ng mga abogado. Grabe naman kabobohan yan. 'Di ba?
what kind of answer is that actually? Hindi ba? And yun na nga, ang pinag-usapan dun, the speech itself. The threat against the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker. Yun po yung pinag-uusapan na ginawa ng pangalawang Pangulo. Hindi po yung kontrata. And hindi lang naman yun eh. Yung pangalawa, yung kagustuhan niya na pugutan ng ulo ang Pangulo. Hindi ba? It is another threat
Isa pa yun.
which is not conditional. No? So, dalawang magkaibang insidente po ito ng pagbabanta. Yung sa usapin po ng Madriaga, the perjury case will proceed as it should. No? So, kung meron hong hindi katotohanan doon, then that they will have to face it at that particular proceeding. Pero the Madriaga affidavit will stand and the credibility of Mr. Madriaga will be tested in the course of hearing proper. No? So,
tama.
mapag-uusapan po talaga yan pong bagay na. And finally, doon po sa, hindi pa daw ho pinal, yung pong mga notices of disallowance.
Okay, so yung kay Madriaga, mga kababayan, ang mangyayari kasi doon, ano lang naman kung may kaso siya doon, no, na sinampahan siya ng kaso ni Sara Duterte, ibang kaso yon, no? Ngayon, eto po yan, hindi ho mapipigil nung sinampang kaso na yon ni Sara Duterte, no, eto pong mga naging affidavit ni Madriaga. So pwede po siyang mag-stand alone. No, ang malalaman lang ngayon yung kredibilidad po niyan at mapapatunayan. Actually, mas pabor pa nga po 'yun No? Kung magtetestigo itong si Madriaga. No, diyan po sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte. Okay? At hindi po niya napatunayan at wala siyang naipakitang mga ebidensya na totoo yung kanyang mga akusasyon kay Sara Duterte. Well, that's the time na pwede talagang makasuhan si Madriaga ng pagsisinungaling. 'Di ba? Guilty siya ron. Kasi dalawa yung magiging hearing de bali niyan. 'Di ba? Gigisahin siya dito sa impeachment court, gigisahin siya ngayon doon po sa korte sa Taguig. 'Di ba? So dalawa yung gigisa sa kanya. Kailangan patunayan niya pareho na totoo yung kanyang mga sinasabi. At dito po sa impeachment, mga kababayan, mas maganda po dahil mas makikita ng taong bayan kung ano talaga yung katotohanan sa sinasabi po ni Madriaga. 'Di ba? Kaysa doon po sa hearing sa korte kasi hindi naman yun na ila-livestream. No, siguro isa yun sa kinatatakutan nila, mga kababayan, dahil kapag nagkaroon po ng impeachment at tumayo na pong testigo si Madriaga, naka-record po yan, naka-livestream po yan, buong Pilipinas po at buong mundo po ang makakapanood niyan. 'Di ba? Buong mundo po makakapanood niyan, mga kababayan. So doon madadali, doon magkakaalaman. Kaya medyo takot sila No, dito po sa mga bibitawan ni Madriaga na to. Kung eto man ay totoo o hindi, pwede pumabor sa kanila, kila BP Sara, pwede ring hindi pumabor sa kanila. 'Di ba? So yung question po, yung pagko-question doon sa kredibilidad ni Madriaga, malalaman po yan sa korte. Malalaman din po yan sa impeachment court, mga babayan. Di ba? Naintindihan nyo po?
Allowances, katulad ng binanggit na ho natin in the past, hindi naman ho kailangang pagbanggain Yung proseso sa COA, it is an audit proceeding. If there's a notice of disallowance, there is an order to return the money. It is distinct from and separate from an impeachment proceeding in which all the evidence in that particular AOM and notice of disallowance will still be used in this impeachment proceeding. At ang magkaiba ho yung konsekwensya. Dito, pagsasoli ng pera sa COA, dito po sa impeachment proceeding, pagtatanggal po ng impeachable officer. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ho pwedeng pagbanggain ng kanya pong kampo na just because hindi pa final, yung pong COA proceeding, hindi po pwedeng gamitin sa isang impeachment proceeding. Hindi po yung tama. At magtutuloy ito pong ground na ito as we go into hearing proper.
Thank you, sir. Yun lang
Diba?
po sa
Parang yung kaso din doon sa Taguig ni Madriaga. Diba? Ibang kaso yun. Ibang kaso tong impeachment. Ganun po yun.
Thank you.
Okay, 125 na tayo. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Shoutouts po, no? Tuloy natin.
Chair, good afternoon po. When will the notices for the complainants and the VP be sent out? And expected po ba yung both camps to appear on March 25?
We will be sending the notice as soon as possible. No? For the complainant, I think we can anticipate that they will come because they are the party who filed this impeachment complaints with the House of Representatives through the Office of the Secretary General. But for the respondent, the Vice President, that is actually her prerogative, whether she will attend or she will not attend.
But her presence, but the notice will mention the March 25 date.
Yes.
Okay. Tapos, dun po sa pag-present ng evidence, is it third complainants and then VP and then fourth and then VP?
That's
Or,
correct.
Not third and fourth, then VP.
No, we should give opportunity to counter the evidence of the complainant by the respondent. So the proper flow should be presentation of the complainant of evidence during on the third impeachment complaint, presentation by the respondent on the third impeachment complaint. And then we proceed to the presentation of complainant on the fourth impeachment complaint, and then presentation of respondent on the fourth impeachment complaint. After all of these are done, we proceed to the determination of probable cause.
Yan na.
Chair, where are we in the 60 days? And will you count the hearing days during the recess, like March 25 is one session day?
You remember the definition of the Supreme Court of Session Day. It is a calendar day so long as there is session. Nevertheless, I perceive this as the intention of the Supreme Court to prevent delays in the impeachment proceedings. And that is why we resolve to seek the authority of the House of Representatives, the plenary, the authority to proceed with our hearing even during recess. No? So, that is one. But as to your question, nasaan na tayo dun sa 60 session days given to the Justice Committee to finish the impeachment proceeding? Actually, pinabilang ko yan eh. Using the definition of the Supreme Court, it seems to us that it will end in January 2027 pa. No? Kasi if you will be applying strictly the definition of the Supreme Court, wala dapat hearing during recess. No? But again, we are looking into the intention of the Supreme Court when they define this session day, which is to prevent delay. And that is why we sought the authority of the plenary, the House of Representatives, if we can proceed to hearing these impeachment complaints even during recess. And they granted that authority. As a matter of fact, that is the resolution that I read before we suspended, no? And I saw in the news also last night that it was sponsored by the Speaker, the Majority Leader, and the Minority Leader.
So, ma'am, follow-up lang. So how do we count March 25 and the 3 April hearing dates?
Ang pagbilang po natin doon, hindi ko siya kasama doon sa session day kasi we are on break. No? So, I think at the moment, we are on the 10th day pa lang. No? So, hindi ko kasama sa bilang yung within the break. No? So, matatapos po... Ano? Yeah, no, the definition is really kung ano yung sinabi ng Supreme Court na at this point. No? So, matatapos po yung 60 days, I think in 5 months' time. So, medyo mahaba pa po yung panahon to basically dispose of the proceedings at the House Justice Committee level.
Thank you po.
You think po ba matatapos natin ito in 5 months, like even before that? Yeah.
This committee?
Yes.
I don't
Or-
think
or
that
how
it
many months po ang
will
nakikita niyo?
consume 5 months, no? Kasi my consideration is the grounds. The grounds alleged in the offenses and the grounds alleged in the third and the fourth impeachment complaint are almost the same. So I am anticipating, no, that after a lengthy presentation of evidence in the third impeachment complaint, baka pagdating ng fourth magkaroon ng adoption yan. Because it will be very, very tedious kung ipapa-identify mo ulit isa-isa yung per pieces of documents which are being offered in support of the allegations in the third impeachment complaint, no? I don't think it will extend up to 5 months.
May nakikita po ba kayo, ma'am, na tingin nyo, estimate nyo, na target nyo, tingin nyo matatapos sa Committee on Justice? Anong month?
Perhaps after the March 25 hearing, we will be able to assess the number of hearings needed for us to be able to reach the determination of probable cause.
Sorry, I have to ask lang po, Kong Tiknyo, if you wanna, Kong Terry, if you wanna comment on Kong Toby Chanco's statement. Sinabi po niya kasi kahapon daw that, you know, baka daw yung iba gusto raw nilang ma-impeach si VP Sara dahil natatakot sila sa
Nako.
posibilidad na maging presidente siya. Kung maging presidente raw kasi si VP Sara, for sure daw mapapanagot niya raw itong mga sangkot sa flood control scandal. And he said, VP Sara is really for accountability.
Talaga lang pagka naging presidente pa si Sara tsaka niya pa nanagutin yung mga sangkot sa flood control? Bakit hindi pa ngayon? Di ba bakit hindi siya gumawa ng sarili niyang task force? No, bakit hindi niya gawin yan ngayong panahon niya? Bakit kailangan pagdating pa ng 2028? Bakit kailangan patagalin pa niya? Di ba? Kung talagang gusto niyang tumulong no, sa investigasyon, kung talagang gusto niyang panagutin yung pong mga involved dyan sa flood control anomalies na yan, mga kababayan, bakit antayin niya pa yung 2028? So gagamitin na naman niya itong itong flood control issue na to, mga kababayan, para gawing propaganda sa kanyang pagtakbo sa 2028. Dahil gusto nilang palabasin na tanging si Sara lamang no ang makaka-solve netong flood control anomalies na to. Parang ganun ba? Parang sinasabi ba nila na si Sara Duterte lang ang makaka-solve netong mga korupsyon na to? Diba mga kababayan? Nagets ninyo, no? Gagamitin nilang propaganda yung flood control anomalies, no? Para po sa kanyang kampanya sa 2028. So ngayon pa lang talaga sinasabi natin, no, nangangampanya na yung mga yan.
Well, una sa lahat, dapat pangalanan niya kung sino yung sinasabi niyang mga kongresista na mag-impeach
Tama.
on the basis lang para makalusot po sa pagpapanagot, no? Sa flood control proceedings or infrastructure corruption. Pangalanan niya kasi parang maraming mga tao doon eh. No? And pangalawa, tingin ko pwede naman hong tumakbo yung pong accountability mechanisms on infrastructure corruption, flood control, at impeachment proceedings na magkasabay. At nangyayari na ho yun. Meron pong tumatakbong proceedings sa level po ng Ombudsman at Sandigan Bayan ngayon. Samantalang dito, tumatakbo po yung accountability mechanisms to an impeachment against the Vice President. So, tingin ko dapat hindi pagbanggain po ni Congressman Chanco ito, and ultimately, dapat magpangalan siya. Dahil unfair po ito doon sa mga, tingin ko hindi naman napangalanan sa kahit anong dokumento na nagsusupport po na impeachment, no? Yan ba yung mga taong binabanggit ni Congressman Chanco na supportive of the impeachment just because they want to go scot-free during a Sara Duterte presidency? That I think would be very unfair to them.
Para kasing pananakot yung mga kababayan eh. Yung ginagawa rin na yan nila. Lalo na neto ni Chanco, mga kababayan. Parang walang pinagkaiba yan doon sa sinasabi na kapag bumoto kayo sa impeachment, pumabor kayo sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte, no, siguradong ligwak kayo. No, baka madamay kayo doon sa mga ilalaglag sa flood control anomalies. So wag kayong bumoto kasi sigurado, parang sinasabi nila na siguradong mananalo na itong si Sara Duterte. Nag-gets ninyo mga kababayan yung pattern. So 2 years silang nangangampanya. Obviously nangangampanya, 2 taon silang mangangampanya mga kababayan. 'Di ba? Obviously. No, pero syempre hindi nila sasabihin 'yan. Grabe, no? Kung talagang tiwala sila na mananalo itong si Sara Duterte sa 2028, bakit ngayon pa lang nangangampanya na sila? See? Ay, tanin nyo.
Well, first of all, 1,000,000% is something that does not exist in math, no? But
Tama.
secondly, I think that question is best coursed to the Vice President herself, no? On ano ho ba yung accountability, most particularly because she has pronounced herself to be running for 2028. No?
'Di ba?
So I think questions on accountability and accountability mechanisms is something that should be squarely asked to her, no? Kasi that is something that should be a pillar of any presidential candidate, di ba?
Sir, sa inyo pong dalawa, is fear of a Sara Duterte presidency a factor in your decision in the deliberations in the Committee on Justice?
I think that is irrelevant to the question of accountability. Kasi even if we talk about a Sara Duterte presidency in 2028, the fact remains is that an impeachable officer needs to be able to explain questions relating to confidential funds, questions relating to death threats against the president, and questions relating to unexplained wealth and the SALN. Actually, these are very relevant to questions on any person that would want to seek the presidency in 2028. No, so I think this is a matter that should be resolved today and not be resolved at any future time.
Will the Vice President's responses, treatment of this impeachment proceeding be a reflection if she is indeed for accountability?
Well, I don't want to conjecture what she thinks, no? I think that is again, like what I stated, that is something that is better addressed to her, no? And, alam po, malaya naman po yung pangalawang Pangulo to undertake all the mechanisms for defense, no? In this impeachment proceedings. If she wants to go to the Supreme Court, she's free to do so. If she wants to confront the matter squarely at the level of the House Committee on Justice or at the level of the Senate, if we reach to that, that is her right and that is her prerogative. But questions on what we feel or what we think relating to her views on accountability is something that is best asked to the Vice President herself.
Question lang. What if lang po, during the deliberations, during the hearing, mag-resign si VP Sara? Ano pong mangyayari sa impeachment proceedings?
For me, the impeachment proceeding should continue. Because there are two principal penalties. If convicted, one is removal, the other is perpetual disqualification to hold any public office, no? So, bagaman the resignation will render moot and academic the penalty of removal, I think the penalty of perpetual disqualifications need to be resolved as well. And for us to be able to resolve that, it means that the impeachment proceeding must continue until the trial to the Senate, until they reach a decision of whether to convict or to acquit.
And that will be for the perpetual disqualification na lang po. Thank you.